Hello everyone, in today's reading, we have the Queen of Wands, and it arrives with a warm, confident, and deeply empowering energy. This card is often associated with vitality, self-assurance, inner glow, and the kind of magnetic presence that comes from finally feeling aligned within yourself. It's not just about external beauty or surface-level change. It's about the way your inner state starts shaping your outer experience in noticeable, meaningful ways. Very soon, you may begin to observe subtle but encouraging shifts in your overall well-being. These changes might show up physically at first. Your skin appearing more vibrant, your eyes looking brighter, your hair feeling healthier, or your body simply feeling more awake and supported. Some people notice improved routines naturally falling into place, better sleep, more hydration, or a renewed interest in self-care without forcing it. Even small things, like feeling more comfortable in your own skin or having more energy during the day, can be signs that your internal balance is improving. On a deeper level, the Queen of Wands is also a reminder that confidence is returning to you. Not in a loud or forced way, but in a steady and natural rebuilding. You may notice yourself reacting less to stress, worrying a bit less about outcomes, or feeling more capable of handling what life brings. This shift often comes after periods of emotional heaviness or uncertainty, when your inner strength quietly starts to reassemble itself. These changes are not random. They reflect a gradual alignment in your life, where things are starting to come together in a more stable and meaningful way. The completion energy here doesn't necessarily mean everything is instantly perfect. It means certain cycles of confusion, emotional fatigue, or imbalance are beginning to resolve. In their place, clarity and direction slowly take root. If love has been on your mind, the Queen of Wands brings a message of warmth and attraction, but also self-worth. One of the most important lessons this card carries is that love flows more naturally when you are connected to your own value and inner light. You may find that your approach to relationships becomes healthier and more grounded, less about chasing or worrying, and more about mutual respect, genuine connection, and emotional ease. Over time, this can open the door for a relationship dynamic that feels balanced, supportive, and emotionally fulfilling. Not necessarily dramatic or chaotic, but steady and real. If you are already connected to someone, this energy may help improve communication and emotional understanding. If you are single, it may reflect you stepping into a version of yourself that naturally attracts healthier attention and deeper connections. The Six of Pentacles is showing that balance is finally returning to your life. Things that may have felt one-sided for a long time are beginning to shift, and a period of greater stability, especially financially, appears to be on the horizon. I strongly feel that you've spent so much of your energy giving to others, whether emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, or even financially. You've been there for people time and time again. You've supported, cared for, and helped others without expecting much in return. Now, the energy is changing. This is a season where others begin to show up for you. People will start offering their support, understanding, protection, and kindness. You'll notice more respect, appreciation, and genuine care coming your way. For a long time, it may have felt like you were the one carrying the weight of relationships or always being the giver. But now, people are stepping forward to give back. They will invest in you, commit to you, understand your needs, and value what you bring into their lives. Some may even offer financial help, guidance, or practical support when you need it most. This card represents a powerful form of karmic balance. The generosity, love, and care you've shared with others are finding their way back to you. The universe is creating opportunities for you to receive what you've so freely given. Most importantly, you'll begin to experience relationships that feel more balanced and fulfilling. People will treat you with the love, respect, kindness, and consideration that you truly deserve. You'll no longer feel like you're giving everything without receiving anything in return. Instead, you'll feel supported, appreciated, and cared for in a way that feels genuine and meaningful. Ace of Pentacles, there's a reason this message has found its way to you right now. It's not random, and it's not forced. It reflects a shift that is already forming beneath the surface of your life. Something practical, grounded, and real is beginning to take shape. The Ace of Pentacles often signals the seed phase of a new material beginning. This can show up as a new opportunity, a fresh direction in work or finances, a lifestyle shift, or even a change in how you relate to stability and self-worth. But more than anything, it represents something solid, trying to root itself in your reality. You may not fully see it yet, but something is being offered to you, an opening. It might come in a subtle form, a new idea that keeps returning, a chance encounter, a growing interest, or even a quiet internal decision that things need to change. The ace rarely arrives loudly. It arrives like a seed in soil, small but alive with potential. What makes this energy powerful is that it doesn't just speak about external success. It's pointing toward self-sufficiency, the kind that grows when you begin trusting your own ability to create stability, comfort, and abundance without over-relying on external validation or circumstances. The Nine of Pentacles. There's a growing sense that you are learning how to stand in your own space with more ease, not in a defensive or isolated way, but in a way that feels calm, self-contained, and steady. You're beginning to understand that independence isn't loneliness, it's freedom. It's the ability to be fully with yourself without feeling incomplete. You may notice yourself gravitating toward quieter pleasures lately. Things that once felt insignificant now carry meaning. Slow mornings, natural light, walking without urgency, listening to your surroundings, or simply existing without needing to perform or prove anything. These moments are not random either. They are recalibrations. Your system is learning how to feel safe in simplicity. The interesting part of this transition is that it often doesn't feel like achievement at first. It can feel like slowing down, detaching, or even stepping back from things that used to define you. But in reality, you're becoming more aligned with what actually sustains you. The Ace of Pentacles is the start, and the Nine of Pentacles is the embodiment of what happens when that seed is nurtured. One is potential. The other is lived experience. Together, they suggest a path where you are not just chasing stability, you are becoming it. There is also a subtle but important spiritual layer here. This independence is not meant to separate you from others or from life itself. It is meant to return you to a deeper awareness of connection. When you are no longer dependent on external validation for your sense of worth, something interesting happens. You begin to see life as collaborative rather than competitive. You are not disconnected from the world. You are participating in it more consciously. Whether you frame it as God, the universe, source, or simply existence itself, there is a growing recognition that your life is not happening to you, but with you. You are not outside of creation looking in. You are part of the creative process itself. this shift can bring a quiet kind of confidence. Not loud confidence, not forced positivity, but something steadier. A knowing that you can build again if something falls apart, that you can begin again if needed, that your foundation is not fragile anymore. The Wheel of Fortune, the first thing coming through is that you're finally closing out a chapter where you didn't feel completely grounded within yourself. In the past, it feels like you were constantly moving between two versions of who you were, stepping into a new, healthier version of yourself, then slipping back into old habits or old ways of thinking because they felt familiar, and then finding your way back again. But something has changed. You've reached a point where your growth has become stable. You're no longer returning to the old version of yourself just because it's comfortable. Instead, you've created new habits, new patterns, and a stronger foundation within this new version of who you are. Your energy feels much more solid now. The back and forth is over. You've found where you truly belong within yourself, and you're choosing to stay there. As I say this, I notice the image of a helicopter flying overhead. The message that comes with it is that some people simply couldn't see you clearly. They weren't able to understand your perspective because they couldn't rise to the same level you had reached. They couldn't view things from where you were standing, so they never fully saw who you really were. But beyond that, there's a sense of coming home to yourself. And because you've found that inner sense of home, there's a quiet confidence that blessings are on their way. You can feel it. You're more present now. You appreciate the warmth of the sun, the beauty of the sky, the green grass, the animals around you, and the breeze against your skin. You're noticing and valuing the simple gifts in life. That gratitude is powerful. The more you appreciate what's already around you, the more blessings you're naturally inviting into your life. With the Queen of Pentacles energy, I sense someone who is deeply caring and nurturing. You have a strong connection to nature and genuinely enjoy spending time outdoors. More than that, you have a natural ability to recognize beauty, value, and abundance in the world around you. I also feel that you're a highly empathetic person, and at times, that sensitivity has brought challenges into your life. You've carried the weight of many experiences, times when you were misunderstood, overlooked, treated unfairly, or simply not appreciated for who you truly are. Throughout your journey, there have been many instances where people have caused you pain. In some cases, it was because they couldn't recognize your inner light or understand your value. In other cases, it was because they did see it. When people notice your strength, confidence, or unique qualities, it can sometimes trigger their own insecurities. Instead of dealing with those feelings, they may project them onto you. It's as if your light reminds them of what they feel is missing within themselves. Someone who struggles to feel empowered may find it difficult to be around someone who naturally carries that energy. As a result, their unresolved issues can end up being directed at you. What I'm hearing is that this pattern may have shown up repeatedly throughout your relationships and interactions with others. We have the Six of Cups here, and the core message coming through is deeply rooted in forgiveness, emotional integration, and the gentle release of the past. This card often acts like a doorway into memory, old emotional landscapes, childhood echoes, past relationships, and moments that still carry a certain emotional charge. You may find yourself revisiting people or situations you thought you had already moved beyond. Not necessarily in a dramatic way, but in subtle waves. Thoughts like, "How did things end up like that?" Or, I never expected those people to hurt me, or even a quiet sense of longing for what once felt simple, familiar, or safe. There's often a bittersweet quality to this stage. It's not just pain that returns, but also tenderness. The Six of Cups doesn't only bring forward what hurt, it also reminds you of what you valued, what you gave, and what you experienced when your heart was more open and less guarded. That's why forgiveness at this stage can feel complex. It's not just about letting go in a shallow sense. It's about making peace with a whole emotional chapter of your life. What's important here is the shift that's beginning to take place in your inner world. Instead of getting pulled into repeated emotional loops, replaying conversations, imagining different outcomes, or feeling stuck in, "Why did this happen?" there is a growing ability to observe those memories without being absorbed by them. The emotional charge starts to soften. The past begins to feel like something that happened through you, rather than something that is still happening to you. True forgiveness, as this card shows, is not forced, and it is not intellectual. It's not about saying, "It's okay," when it wasn't okay. It's about releasing the need for the past to be different in order for you to feel at peace now. And that's a very different internal movement. It's quiet, gradual, and often only becomes noticeable when you realize you haven't thought about those old wounds in quite some time. Or when you do, they no longer destabilize you the way they once did. Another layer of the Six of Cups is perspective transformation. As healing deepens, you may begin to see people from your past in a new light. Not as purely good or bad, but as human beings shaped by their own level of awareness at the time. This doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it does contextualize it. It allows space for understanding without reopening the door to mistreatment. In that sense, forgiveness here is not about reconciling with others. It is about reconciling within yourself. You start to recognize that many people operate from unresolved wounds, emotional immaturity, fear, or limited awareness. And importantly, you also begin to see how your younger self moved through those same experiences with the tools you had at the time. That recognition often brings a softer kind of compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. This is where real growth becomes visible. You are no longer energetically tethered to the emotional weight of those experiences. The memories may still exist, but they no longer pull you out of the present moment. And presence is one of the clearest indicators of healing. The Six of Cups ultimately suggests that you are not erasing your past. You are integrating it. You are taking what you learned emotionally, consciously releasing what no longer belongs to you, and allowing your present life to exist without being filtered through old pain. That's all I have for you in today's reading. See you in next reading.